Hi, and welcome in this video about Front Matter CMS and its content types. In this video, I'm going to talk about content types, what they are, what they can mean for Front Matter, and how you can start using them. Everything in Front Matter from content creation is driven by these content types. But what exactly are content types? A content type is like a group of fields that is going to distinguish the type of content that you're going to manage. And this is what we use in Front Matter in order to allow you to manage or edit your content. Is it a page? Is it a blog post? Is it a product? It can be anything, but every single page or content will have its own type of data that you need to manage. And this is where content types are coming in. So this is why the session is so important. If you understand this, how the content types work, then you can manage any type of content in your project. So let's dive in. To start, I created some sample content. It's all about stickers. So for instance, I want to sell stickers online in a store. So for that, I need to have content and I need to have some metadata for these stickers. So what you can see over here is a sticker that has a type, a title, and a description. So this is what you typically can have for your website. So when I click on the sticker, I see the details of that sticker. So nothing more is being configured. As more importantly, we are going to create a content type for this in Front Matter. The sample site that I used for this is created with Astro. Astro is a really good content-driven static site generator, and it fits perfectly for working together with Front Matter. In the project, I already have configured all the layouts and some sample content. The best way to get started is from existing contents. It is not the requirements, but it will make it easier to understand the process. Otherwise, you have a lot more configuration that you need to do. When we open an existing page and view the Front Matter panel, it will show a message that something is out of sync. And this means that the default content type is not the same as the content or the fields that are being used in your particular page. So that's why Front Matter is going to show you a message saying, hey, something is wrong, please verify it or create a new content type out of it. In order to create a new content type, you can just click on the button where you can then say, okay, I want to create a new content type. This will become a sticker. And you can also override the default one. In this case, we are not going to do this because we already have one, which is our blog content. So we are going to create a new sticker. And what you can see as well is that you get a message to open the settings. In the settings, there should now be a sticker content type created for you. So that's where we can do our changes. The first thing that we are going to change is a preview pad. A preview pad is what we use to open the site preview of your sticker. So we are going to define a sticker pad here. Once that is done, we can go and create a prefix. A prefix is normally by default using the year, month, date notation, but we don't need that for a sticker. So once that is done, we can start defining the fields. For the fields, it's good that we first go to the documentation. On the documentation, there you can see all the supported fields and all the configuration that you can do over there. There's a lot of these fields, so we're not going to highlight all of them. All of the settings and configuration for these fields can be found on the documentation. So let's go back to our settings. In our settings, we start with a title. A title is what defines the actual sticker. So we need to specify this title. The only thing that we are going to change here in the title is that it's going to be a single line field and not a multi-line. By default, Front Matter is going to use a multi-line field. So that's why we add the single property. The next thing is the description. And for us, the description is fine. Nothing more to add. We can leave it as that. Release date is a datetime field. So in this case, it says that it's a string, and this is what we are going to change. So by changing it to a datetime field, we get a datetime picker. And what we are also going to introduce is a default value. And a default value, that's where we are being able to use placeholders. And what are placeholders exactly? Placeholders are a way to automatically fill in field values based on something that either comes from Front Matter or from your own code. On the documentation of placeholders, there you can see a couple of time placeholders that we are known as the known placeholders in Front Matter. You also have special placeholders that you can use during the content creation, And you have also custom placeholders. These custom placeholders, they are, for instance, used when you want to generate something else like a unique ID and so on. So it's your logic that is going to run. And that can either be like a value or it can be a custom script that you're going to link. So back to our settings. In our release state, we are going to use the now placeholder. Once the content gets created, it will be using the current date of today. The next thing is the image. As I was using an image title, Front Matter already recognized this and is going to map it as an image field. The cool thing about Front Matter is that you can also showcase these images in the content dashboard. And the way to do it is by using the isPreview image property. Once the isPreview image property has been set and the value is true, Front Matter knows that that field can be used in order to show it in the content dashboard. Another field that we need to configure is price. Price is already set as a number, but for a number field, you can add multiple of these extra properties. Like for instance, we have the number options, and in the number options, you can have a minimum, maximum, step, and is decimal. As it's a price, it could be a decimal value, so that's also what we need to define here. Sticker type is where I'm going to define what kind of sticker the buyer can expect. So in my case, I'm going to have paper, vinyl, and holographic. And I will set the default value of that particular sticker type to vinyl. So every time that I'm going to create a new sticker, it will be automatically set to vinyl. We're coming to the last part of the content type creation where we have to define tags and categories, but they are already defined for us, and that's because the title was already set to tags and categories. But what's special here is the field type. Field type is set to tags or categories, and the moment you use these two, they are going to be linked to a setting. In the setting, it's actually keeping a list of all the tags or categories that you're using. So if you're doing an update, then the tag picker will eventually show the available tags or categories for that particular field. What we are going to do now is add some tags and categories to these two settings. And what you can see later on is that we can use this while managing the sticker. So then these tags and categories will show up inside the panel. The last thing is the type. And this is a special one. The type is actually a type field that Front Matter needs to know which type of content type you're using for this particular content. If this is not present, then Front Matter doesn't know what it actually is. So in this case, it will be hidden. And hidden means that it's not going to show up in the panel. So you should not be removing it from your content, and we shouldn't be seeing this inside a panel. Also, from the moment you create content, it will be automatically set for you. So you don't have to do a thing. And even so, we created a content type from our existing content. And what you can see there is that the sticker type was already added to this type of content. So we don't have to remap it anymore. So now that our content type has been created, we can actually check it out and see if it's working. So let's go to the content dashboard, and there let's click on the create button. It will ask us what type of content we want to create. So in this case, we are going to choose sticker, and then it's going to ask for a title. Once the title has been filled in and you press enter, the content gets created. But now notice that it's not in the right location. It's still in my block location. And that's because there's only one page folder defined, and page folder is for Front Matter to know where it can actually start creating the content. So what we need to do is go to the sticker folder, right click on it, and then in the Front Matter menu, you can click on register folder. Once the folder is being registered, going back to our settings, there you can then see that the sticker folder has now been registered, and Front Matter will now know, okay, this is a folder that I can start using. And you can check that out if you go back to the dashboard and click on create content again. Then you will be asked for two things. First of all, you will be asked to where do you want to create your folder, and in what kind of content type do you want to create your actual content. Now, this is of course not optimal, so let's do something to optimize it. And what we can do here is going back to our settings, and on the page folder level, we can actually define the content type that is mapped to a folder. So every time that you select a particular folder, it's going to then say, oh, in this case, I'm going to use a content type, and you don't have to select it anymore. So with this last change done, if we then go back to our content dashboard and create content, it's only going to ask us for where do you want to create the content. So we define sticker, and then we can specify the title, because it already knows that you want to create a sticker and not going to create or ask for a blog. So once that sticker has been created, we can then start modifying the metadata. So like the title, the description, and we also have the price. The price is a number, and we set it to 4.5 as a maximum and 2 as a minimum. So we cannot go over 4.5 and not lower than 2. So the options one was a choice. In choices, we can remove the vanilla one and then pick any of the 3 options that we had. For the text, we had a couple of tags that were being created, so we can now select in the text from the list that is available that we created before, and the same thing goes for the categories. And notice that there is no type because it was a hidden field, so only in the Front Matter section of your content there will be type. So now that the content is ready, we can move over to the content dashboard, and there we can now see the 2 stickers. When we click on our cloud sticker that we just created, we can actually view it live inside the preview. And this is where Front Matter is really cool, because you don't have to leave your editor to just test out if your sticker is working fine. So I can validate it straight within Visual Studio Code. So with that all said, I think we can conclude how powerful content types can be in Front Matter CMS. I hope you learned something, and I hope that you're going to try it out within your project. If you have any questions, feel free to leave these in the comments below. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.